Hello, this is Victor, and welcome to my newest video about Civilization 5. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about how to play Civilization 5 in DEITY, and be successful at it. So I have 10 bullet points that I want to go through. I'll talk about them in a short while. I'll just state them so that you can skip to which part you want and learn about it. But I highly suggest that you watch this whole video, because even the people who already play DT can still learn something from this video, from every part of this video. So let's start with civ selection and the victory target. So when we go to single player and setup game, you have a lot of civs here. So first of all, you need to select a civ that's suitable for the victory condition that you want to target. You don't just want to go, okay, I'll play as Napoleon and France and I'll try whatever. Like, of course you can play like that, but it's not gonna be optimal with your strategy, because you need to know what kind of victory plan you have. Because if you don't know your destination, how can you find the logistics of it? How can you find the place if you don't know where you're going to go? So let's say you want a domination victory. You want to make a big military. You want to conquer cities. You want to settle a lot of cities. Then you can pick something like China, for example, because they have bonuses to Great General, and also Chikonu is a great unit to conquer in the medieval era. And also Papermaker is awesome because it's a science building. You always want science buildings when you are using military, and it's a great unique building. Or let's say you want a diplomatic victory and you pick Alexander, because city-state influence degrades at half and recovers at twice the normal rate. So you can pick Greece and you can just play with city-states and get a diplomatic victory. Whatever civ that you want and whatever victory condition you want, you should pick each and then start your game like that. And if you want me to make a video about the victory conditions and also the civilizations, kind of like a tier list, then you let me down in the comments. Settings for this scenario. Let's say you pick Assyria, and then there are a lot of settings here. So these are just the basic settings. So map type is, what kind of a map is it gonna be? So Pangaea is kind of like a one big massive landmass, and no, like, there will be like a couple of little islands and that's it. There will be no big islands. There are a lot of map types that you can pick, and there are a lot of like explorers, additional maps. There are lots of maps if you want to try. But I highly suggest you play on Pangaea because it's the easiest. Because it's just, so when it comes to like continents, for example, the game would start with like two continents, and in one continent there will be like 4 civs, and in the other one, the other 4 civs, if you are playing in a standard map with 8 players. And what happens usually is, in one island, one civ just dominates all of the other civs, and like one civ just dominates everyone in that setting. And if you're playing like an archipelago or something, like if one island is bigger than the others and just one civ starts there, they're gonna have a huge advantage. So it's gonna be less optimal in balance purposes. So Pangaea is the way to go. I love Pangaea, but you can play on other settings as well. Map size is pretty standard, like dual is just for 2 players and huge is for 12 players. I highly suggest you play in standard with 8 civs. That's why I always play, basically, not even usually. And the difficulty, I'm just playing on DEITY now because the other difficulty settings don't really do anything for me. Like, I don't really enjoy playing them. And even in DEITY, the amount of games I lose is usually because of my greed. Like, if I'm not greedy and I just build a military as I'm progressing, I almost never die in DEITY now. So I highly suggest that you get used to DEITY, and with this video, hopefully you'll start playing on DEITY as well. And the game pace is standard. So how this affects the game is, if you play on quick, the units that you get with research are gonna be less impactful, because you're going to get more research more quickly with the quick game pace. And with Epic and Marathon, the new units that you get with each new research they are going to be more impactful in the age that you're in. So if you want to pick something like Harun al-Rashid, for example, Arabia, he has the Camel Archer, which is like an absurdly powerful unit. And when you pick Arabia and you pick Marathon, you can just get the Camel Archers and just conquer the whole world, because like before anything else happens. They are obscenely powerful, and if you just can keep them alive and keep their progression going, like with the upgrades and stuff, Camel Archers can actually dominate the world and like win you the game. But it becomes easier with Marathon because the other civs don't really get new techs that easily, that fast, so that your Camel Archers are more useful as they can't get new techs early on. But if you're playing on quick speed, the Camel Archers are going to be obsolete way quicker than compared to the other game paces. But standard is standard, so you can play on standard. And if you go to advanced setup, you can actually like pick the civilizations that you're going to be playing against. You can pick the map size, the game era, whatever. Like these, you don't really need to know these. You can just leave them as is. But these are the settings that I usually play with. And with the victory types, I usually tick off time victory. It doesn't really matter. My games never go that long, but I usually enable all the other victory types. And I also allow policy saving and promotion saving, but you don't really have to do anything here. One thing I'll mention is Raging Barbarians. If you pick a civ that excels at a lot of like fighting with barbarians a lot, then you can pick this on. For example, if you're Germany or you're like Aztecs, or you want to play through with honor, then you can play with Raging Barbarians, but I usually keep this off. And also with random personalities, like the civs usually have some personalities. If you tick this off, then you can get like an India who's a warmonger, for example. But usually, if you don't pick this off, if it's disabled, India will be peaceful, for example. So I play with these settings, but you can mess with them all you want. And if you want even more details about like what to do, like what is temperate and what is cool and hot or whatever, let me down in the comments. If there is enough interest, then I'll make a video about it. But usually it's not that important. So this is the initial setup for the scenario, basically. So restart or no. So let's start our game. It doesn't matter what we start as, but let's start with Arabia here. So this is the starting location that we are in. So restart or no. So how do you assess if this is a good place to start or not? So we are in floodplains, desert, and river. So starting on a river is good. Starting on a non-coastal tile is not good. And by the way, if you zoom in and look at the river, the way the river is flowing is towards the sea. So if I move this warrior to the left side and I can see the lake here, it's gonna be where the sea or the lake is. So by the way, this is always true. So you can just look at the flow of the lake, and if you want to find the coast, then you can follow the flow of the lake, flow of the river. So we have this deer and we have this wheat, but this wheat is on desert, so it doesn't really matter. So this deer is a prime example of a three goodie style, let's just say. So when you want to settle your capital, in the first 6 tiles that's going to be surrounded in your with your capital city, you want at least one tile that has either 3 food, 2 food, 1 production, or 3 food. So we have 2 food, 1 production, so that's good. And also our so every civ when you start the game has a regional luxury, and our regional luxury is incense. Like we have 3 incense in this little place, so we know that incense is our regional, and incense is not a good regional luxury. Best regional luxury is salt. So if you want an excellent game, you can just restart until you get salt, and or you can just restart until you get a good starting location with a workable luxury resource. So why incense is bad is when you improve incense, so when you hover over this, by the way, this is possible with the enhanced user interface. So So it says currency, monasteries, desert folklore, goddess auto festivals, and then it shows the improvements. So it says with calendar, you can improve this plantation. You can put a plantation on this, and it's gonna give 1 gold, 1 incense, and 4 happiness because we don't have incense connected to our cities yet. So it's gonna give plus 1 gold, and it's gonna give plus 1 food when you get fertilizer. And fertilizer is way down the line, like not really close to where we are right now, right here, fertilizer. So when this is improved, it's gonna give you plus 1 gold, and that's it. And this is on floodplain, so this is gonna be a 2 food, 3 gold tile when you improve it. And it's not a necessarily good tile to work, because just 2 food, that's it. You want to work 3 food or 2 food and 1 production at least. So we have a suboptimal regional luxury. We have a river and we have a lot of floodplains. Floodplains are good. River is good because next to the river is what we call a civil service farm. Because civil service gives this bonus. Food from the farm increases by 1 on tiles with access to fresh water. And fresh water also means lakes. Not just rivers, but it's usually what rivers are about. And then later on, the rivers will give access to... where is it again? Should be right about here. Hydro plants. And it says plus 1 production in every tile next to a river. So, rivers are important, rivers are good. When you see a river, it's a potential city, because you can get a lot of food tiles near the river. And when I look at the city, we have 2 good hills here. We have 1 good hill here, and this is also workable, but it's just like 3 tiles away, so it's not going to be available until much later on. So, immediate area, we have a lot of river tiles. We have 1 deer, we have 1 wheat, which is on desert. That's not really good, but this is an okay start as a capital. So what do you do? Do you move or do you not move? So why we should move or not is, so what makes a good city good? If it's on a river or it's near a lake, it's good. If it's coastal, means near the sea, it's good. And if it's near a mountain, it's good. If it's on a hill, it's good. So if you can like mix all this together, like if you have a city that's on a river, near the coast, on a hill, next to a mountain, then it's perfect. Because next to a mountain means you can research astronomy, you can get an observatory, which is gonna give you plus 50% science. And that's only possible if you're next to a mountain. And also, like the special mountains like Uluru also count in this. So you need to be adjacent to a mountain in order to get observatory. We talked about the river thing. The coastal thing is about the trades that you make within your cities, not with other civilizations. When you send food from one city to another with just the trade cart, like the caravan, let's say you can send 4 food. And with the sailing and cargo ship, you can send more, like 6. So when you're coastal and your other cities are coastal, then you can send more food from your cities to other cities. Like, you don't really send food, actually. You just generate food, because it doesn't really take from your city if you're sending from one city to another. You just generate food for the other city. So being coastal is good for the cargo ship. You can also get things like fish, which is actually very easy, because you don't really need to put a workboat on a fish to make it usable, because when you build a lighthouse, the fish is gonna have like 4 food, 1 production or something. It's gonna be great. So it's actually really good for a coastal city to be. And hills give you a plus 25% defense bonus, and when you settle on a hill, you get plus 1 production on that city. So if I settle here, it's gonna have 2 food, 1 production, 2 gold, if I'm not mistaken. And if I settle on a hill, it's gonna have 2 food and 2 production. So that's how you settle. That's how you assess the starting location, and how you assess the regional luxuries. So this is basically the capital, and how you decide about restart or not. So if I started this, I will just restart. let's restart a couple of times until we get a decently good capital city. So this start, I can immediately tell that this is the coast. And I want to be on the coast when I start. And the regional seems like gold. And this is a fairly good starting place. Except for the fact that there's a coast here and I should be moving to the coast. But my two really good tiles, like this is 2 food 1 production and 2 food 1 production, they're not in the the region of the place that we should be settling if we would settle here. So this is not a good starting location, so I'll just restart again. So we are coastal this time, and we have a fish. Our regional is truffles, which is meh. We have one tile here that's 2 food 1 production, and a kettle here that's 3 food. This is fairly good, but I'm still not convinced that this is a good starting location because we don't have fresh water now. Let's restart again. There's a lake. We are on a hill. We are on desert. Our regional is incense again. We have marble here. We have one good tile with 2 food 1 production. This is fairly good. If the river was here and this was my settler with adjacent to the mountain, it would be great, but it is not. And if I move here, I'm gonna lose the ship, and I'll not be on fresh water anymore, but I'll be adjacent to the mountain. And the thing is, if you like Petra is a tough building to build, but if you can get Petra, desert hills become like #1 priority. And as I see, the coast here, this is just an instant restart. Because you want to be on the coast, and if you're not, then you're just missing a lot of the good things that you would want in your game. So this start is kind of decent. We just have one good tile here, that's 3 food. This is 2 food 1 production, and our regional seems to be copper, which is fairly good. Like, you don't want to be working coppers because you don't have any food from coppers, but improving them is easy because you just need mining, because usually most luxuries require calendar and plantation, like dyes, silk, spices, sugar, cotton, wine, incense, citrus and cocoa. And citrus and cocoa are the 2 good luxuries from calendar. You just have 1 or 2 from camp, ivory and truffles, and they are meh. And we also have mining from mines. So we have gems, gold, silver, copper, and salt. And salt is the #1 thing that you want in a city, because when you improve a salt, you get +1 food and +1 production. So it's gonna be 3 food 2 production or 2 food 3 production. So it's gonna be great. But this start is fairly decent. Like, we have a lot of marshlands here, so it's gonna be a lot of work to clear them and whatever. So it's gonna be a restart again. Okay, so our regional is cotton. We are coastal. We have 1, 2, 3 tiles that we can work immediately. And what is this? This is not an island, I hope, but it doesn't matter. We can still get this cotton. So this start I really like. We don't have fresh water, but we have a lot of good good tiles to work with. Let's see. I mean, if we started here, this would actually be a really good capital. But let's start one more time. Okay, this is near the river. Also, if you're not sure where the river starts, you can just hover over the tile and it says terrain, grassland, river. So this is near the river. And we have 1, 2, 3 good starting tiles here. Our regional is copper, which is fine. And we have truffles here. We also have oasis here, which is great because you don't need to improve it. And we have hills. So yeah, this is a really good starting location actually. So and there's coast also. Like, I don't know why it happened like this in this series of restarts, but yeah. So when you settle a city, what do? You settle your capital. you just switch to production focus. Because when you are moving through this list, like when you hit end turn, what the game does is it works through all these things in order. So if you put production focus first, and your city is about to grow, it grows first, and then calculates the gold, then science, then faith, then tourism, then culture, then production. So if you put the city on production focus, and when you're on production focus, like let's assume if we had 0 citizens and we got a new citizen, it's gonna be put on this tile because we are on production focus. And when the city grows, it immediately gets 2 production works and 2 gold worked from this tile. So every time this city grows, you're gonna get 2 production and 2 gold for free, basically, or like for 1 more turn, let's just say. So it accumulates over time. So you should have production focus on always. And when the city grows, you like this is gonna be how it looks like. You're gonna have a head here, and you should be moving it to another tile that you actually want to work on. So it's gonna be cows in this instant, because we want growth, or you can work this tile instead if you want more production early on. So we are gonna pick the cows, or we're gonna pick the stone here. Let's just pick the stone for now, and we are gonna build 2 scouts. I always build 2 scouts at the start, unless it's like an extreme situation. Like, for example, you're playing islands, you don't really need scouts. You can just build 1 scout and use it. But scouts are good because they scout, and you can also use them as a blocking tool in order to block the enemy units, basically. Because you're gonna need scouts to like capture the barbarian camps, and you can use them to capture workers, whatever. So scouts are good. You get two scouts. You can get a 3rd one if you want, but I usually don't. So I start with 2 scouts, and then I move my worker to where I want to explore, basically. So if you have a river, for example, this river is, of course, like this is the starting place. This is flowing this way. So this looks like it could be a coast, but this doesn't really look like a coast. So we could actually move to the northwest and see if there's a coast here. And then you need to think about what you want to research first. So usually I suggest people to pick pottery, because granaries are good. It improves bananas, deer, and wheat immediately. You don't need to work on them with a worker. You just get the bonuses immediately. We don't really have those resources around this city, but you can still get pottery because you want a shrine. Because if you build a shrine, you are most likely going to get, like if you build an early shrine, you're gonna get a pantheon. And with pantheon, you can get a lot of goodies to make your cities better in the short term or short to middle term. And if you want to find a religion later on, you can use the shrine's faith to get that. But I usually pick pottery at the start, especially if the regional is a luxury that needs calendar, because you need pottery in order to get calendar. And you can also start with animal husbandry if you want to see horses. And also you can start with mining if you have a luxury that you started, especially if you settled on the luxury. Like you can settle on a copper, and if you pick mining, it's going to be improved immediately until when you research mining. And then you need bronze working to get iron. So what I usually do is I get pottery, and I try to get writing, because writing is good, because it gives libraries. And after I'm done with pottery, usually I try to pick animal husbandry and then bronze working, and I then usually have my worker, and then I can get the tech that I need to improve my luxuries. So what luxuries do I have here? I have furs here, which requires trapping, and also copper here, which requires mining. So I can go pottery, animal husbandry, mining, and bronze working, probably. So let's click next turn. The huts, you can save and load in order to get a good result from a hut, but you need to tick off the thing in the settings. I forgot what it was right now, but it's like seeded whatever. if you tick that off, you can just save and load until you get the result that you want. But it's not required usually. Like huts are usually good, so you just pick them. It doesn't really matter. So we talked about the capital, so let's talk about workable tiles. So what I mean by workable tiles is that it's the tiles that are usually gonna be worked almost always by that city. So what are the workable tiles in this city? So in this city, I have this cow that's gonna be worked, this cow that's gonna be worked, and this stone that's gonna be worked. So those 3. There's also this stone, that's 4th. This oasis is good, that's the 5th. And also the river tiles are gonna be worked because when you research civil service, the farms that are near fresh water are gonna get +1 food. So these are 2 food tiles, and when you improve them with farms, they're gonna be 3 food, and with civil service, they're gonna be 4 food tiles. So this city has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and potentially 9 and 10 tiles that can be worked. And also you can work the copper tiles. So we have 4 coppers here, so there's going to be a lot of tiles, and you can also mine the hills and use them as well. So this city has a lot of tiles that can be worked, but it is expected because it's a capital and I have legendary starts ticked in the settings. So the capital cities are going to be excellent. So let's get this. This is animal husbandry. We're going to see horses. Do we have any horses in nearby capital? No. But let's just move again. So when I look at this, I don't have marble, and there is marble here. So with new cities, that's actually what I want to talk about, like workable tiles, and then what to build, what not to build. But let's just talk about where you settle. So when you want to settle, you want at least one new unique luxury. So by this I mean, for example, what do we have? We have truffles, we have we have furs, and we have copper. So I want to settle near another luxury that I don't have, and this is a marble, and I want to settle near a marble. But just settling here without seeing the sea resources is bad, because how many workable tiles would this city have? 1. That's just the kettle here and nothing else, because all these tiles are going to be 3 food, and that's just going to be like decent, but that's it. This is just going to be a decent shitty city. It's not going to be excellent. So let's just continue and see what's going to happen. So there's a fish here, and there's a bison, and there's also a deer here. So if I settle where the worker is, I can get 1, 2, 3, 4 good tiles now. So this is much better than this city. So we talked about workable tiles. So what to build and what not to build. So building 2 scouts is good. You can build a 3rd one if you want. You can build a monument, especially in the capital city, because at the start you just have 1 culture, and that's from the palace. If you build monument, you get +2 culture, so that's going to be tripling your culture income, and that's great. So you can build a monument, you can build a shrine, you can build a granary, but some buildings it's best if you avoid them. For example, all the wonders, basically just skip all the wonders. And like, for example, lighthouse. If I built a city here, and like, why would I build a lighthouse? I don't need a lighthouse. I need a lighthouse if I want to work the sea tiles. For example, if I have a fish, then I need a lighthouse, because with lighthouse it's gonna be 4 food, 1 production. So and for units, for example, right now we can build warriors, and I almost always, like, I never build warriors. You don't need a warrior. You don't need a spearman. Usually you don't need these units. What you usually need are the ranged units. So by ranged units, what I mean is, from archery, the archer. From construction, you have composite bowman, which is not a good unit, but it's still decent. And especially later on, you get machinery and you get crossbowman. And crossbowman is excellent. You can basically kill a civilization with crossbowman. And there are unique crossbowmen. For example, the Chikonu that we talk about with Chinese. There's also the longbowman with the English, which is also excellent because it has 3 range, and 3 range is like broken in that area. And Chukunu is also broken with just shooting twice. So, but even if you don't have those civs, just crossbowman is enough to actually kill a civ. So this is a really good unit. And usually, like a lot of the buildings, for example, with philosophy, you get National College, which you should build immediately, and temples you really shouldn't build temples because like +2 faith. Why do you need +2 faith? Like if you want a religion, you just need a shrine in your capital city and maybe one another shrine in another city, and then you can get your religion that way. And then like you should be playing a faithful civ, basically like a civ with faith bonuses in order to get a religion, or like something absurd like Spain, for example, because Spain can get a lot of faith from natural wonders if you want to play that way. But anyway, you don't really need a temple because with shrines, you should be getting a faith pantheon. For example, when I started here, like there is a pantheon, if I remember correctly, that gives +1 faith from all the worked coppers. So you should be getting that instead. Like your pantheon should be giving you the faith. You shouldn't need temples to get the faith that you want. So I almost never build temples. Amphitheaters you should build, but much later on. So early on, what you should focus on are granaries, because you need granaries. Granaries give +2 food, and they give +1 food to bananas, deer, and wheat. And you need a granary to send food trades from one city to another city, so you need granaries to do that. And then you need libraries, because libraries give a lot of science, like +1 science per 2 citizens in every city. And also you need libraries in all your cities if you want to get the National College. And National College gives you +3 science and +50% science. So you need National College as soon as possible. And then like you need the science buildings, you need the production buildings, and you need the growth buildings. And with production buildings, for example, you need like the food buildings, you need aqueduct, and with production buildings, you need things like workshop. And then you get to universities. So these are usually the buildings that you want to build. Like I almost never build my my markets before I build my universities. So and with units, like do you need a ship? You just need one trireme to basically explore the coast. You need the scouts to explore the land, and you need workers. Like you need a lot of workers usually. Like if you don't have, like if you have unworked, like if you have a tile that's not improved but you're working it, then you need more workers. That's basically it. And usually if you have like 4 cities, I suggest you get like 6 to 7 workers. You can also steal them from city states, and you can steal them from other civs, but that's usually talked later on. But yeah, these are the units I usually build. Like you don't really need a lot of land units. For example, like I should say slamming units, like spearmen, for example. You shouldn't be making those. Warriors, you shouldn't be making warriors. And especially like swordsmen, like these require iron, you should never make a swordsman in any game, basically. You just need range units and 1 horse to capture cities. You just need range units and 1 horse. And with 1 horse, you mean like it could be a horseman, it could be a knight, like with chivalry, you can get knights. Well, we don't get knights because we are Arabia, but yeah, that's basically it. So, and apart from that, with the buildings, you just need the buildings that you actually need. So if you don't have anything other than to build, just don't build anything. Make workers, or do something more productive with your cities. Like building an unnecessary building just nets you with negative gold, because almost all buildings have some kind of maintenance. For example, shrines have -1 gold. So every building comes with a cost, like production cost first, and then maintenance cost later. So, how to scout? What to scout? So, scout usually scout the potential cities early on, and also of course the rival civilizations and also the city states. But usually, what you want workers to do is to for your scouts to do is to scout the area near your capital to find potential places to put cities on. That's what scouting needs, first and foremost. And then you can use the scouts to block some tiles, maybe find the other AI and find other city states and stuff like that. Because finding city states net you some gold and maybe some faith or something like that. But yeah, usually you should use scouts to scout the area around your capital first to see where you should be, where your cities should be going. So I'm gonna use this warrior to scout this area because this is the city that I should settle, and my next scout is not gonna be going to the southwest because this is usually just a desert, and the desert is not good. And I should be going to northwest to see where is the coast, if there is a coast at the end of this river. So I'm gonna hit next turn. I'm just gonna see what the scout sees. So let's move here and then here. So there's another fish here. If I settled here, I wouldn't be able to get these fish, but I can settle on this place. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, let's not count the marble, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles. That's excellent with the city. So that's decent enough. So our scout is done. Let's move. Okay, so I moved once. And now, if I move to the northwest, I'm not gonna see that much. But if I move to the west, this is a hill, I might see more. So I'm gonna move that place. And yeah, this river is gonna go. So I'm gonna follow the river basically, because when you see river usually means there's a good city here, because rivers have the farms from civil service. So civil service farms means good cities. So I'm gonna move here. Maybe there's another fish, or maybe even a sea luxury, because you can get crabs, you can get whales, stuff like that. So let's keep moving. So I'm gonna move my warrior to the northeast here. Okay, we have Malacca here. So I can immediately see that there is a city right on this hill, because this is hill, this is near a mountain, this has copper, this might have gold, but Malacca is gonna get that gold probably. But it's near a mountain, it's on a hill, it's on a river, it's excellent. So this might be our expansion. So I'm just moving to the southwest here to see if there's a much better option as a city. So Mecca grow, and I can get this thing here that tells me which city has grown. So I can just click on this and I focus on Mecca, and as I stated previously, it just started working on this copper, and I don't want to work this. I want to grow the city. So I'm just switching to the kettle. We got the production and the gold from this, and I keep continuing. If you have the option to move twice, because this isn't a scout, let's move to this place. So this is just a lake. This is salt, which is not a luxury that we have. So this salt, we should focus on getting. Pottery is done and our scout is complete. So let's get shrine. That's another pop for our capital. And there's another salt here. So salt is another Civ's regional luxury, and that they are to the west probably. And there's a horse here. So we should be settling near these salts and these coppers, because that's our regional. So a city somewhere around here should be good. Let's continue. And this is an unmet player, so let's meet that player. This is probably Egypt, but let's see. Okay, France is here. Oh, this is France, okay. So that's Paris. And how civs work is something we haven't talked about. Their regional is salt. And if I go settle on this place, like here, wherever, like the close by, he's gonna get pissed at me. Because civs usually have like a circle of place, like near their capital. Like, this is my land, they think. And if you settle on their lands, they will covet your cities. And when they covet your cities, they'll go to war with you. So if you want a war with France, then you can settle the city like close to here, and they'll get mad at you, and they'll attack you, and you can conquer them back. So that's usually how it works. So settling a city like near Malacca, near around here, should be fine. But if you settle even more to the west, like more west you settle, the more pissed France will get. Like they have, like usually now he says you have no contested borders, and if you settle near this salt, then he's gonna say they covet your lands. So as I see here, like this should also be a good city because it has its river, it's on a river, it's on a coast, and it's near a mountain. It has our regional luxuries, 2 coppers. There's a stone here and there's a fish here. So this city can work all those tiles, and also these are excellent tiles. So we can make a city here, we can make a city here, and we can make a city around here. So we have 3 expansions, and usually 4 cities are enough to be successful in Civ 5, but more is usually better. So, and let's talk about wonders. So in DT difficulty, the early wonders, just forget about them. Forget about it. Like Great Library, you are never getting Great Library. Like impossible to get. If you rush writing and immediately start working the Great Library, and you were like the luckiest person on earth about like production and the, like the workers and what, you will still not get a Great Library. Forget about it. And for all the other wonders as well, the only early wonder that you can maybe get is the Oracle. If you get philosophy and if you start building Oracle, because it is tied to the science civs, and they usually don't build Oracle, but all the other wonders they usually get before you. You can maybe build the Petra. I have done it before, but it's under extreme circumstances that you can get Petra, and you need to rush it like almost immediately. Like for example, if your city, like imagine all these hills are desert tiles, like you have like 8, maybe 10 tiles that you can get Petra's bonus on. Then you can rush currency and try to build a Petra, and if you fail, yes, you just restart your game, because that's all the plan that you had. But I have had an Inca playthrough with Petra, and it was excellent. Like there was a mountain range, like a triangle, and all the tiles near the mountains were all desert hills. So all those tiles got the terrace farms, and they were also near a river, and like it was just perfect. So if you can get a city stuck like that, then that's great that you can build Petra. But usually you're not getting Petra. You might get Chichen Itza, but it's usually not happening. Machu Picchu almost impossible to get. Hagia Sophia, like these are not that good wonders anyway, so you just don't build them. And after education, Alhambra, you might get it, but it's really tough, like almost impossible to get. You might get Sistine Chapel. I almost always build Sistine Chapel, like I always try to build Sistine Chapel. You can get it because I usually rush for it. So I would say Sistine Chapel is the first wonder that you can safely get. You might be able to get Porcelain Tower, but you're not getting Leaning Tower of Pisa if you rushed for Sistine Chapel. So you should probably pick one of them. And I would usually pick Sistine Chapel first, because it's on the way to scientific theory. And Porcelain Tower, you might get it if you want, like if you want to go for it. And after that, you can get the Eiffel Tower, because you should be rushing to radio. And then you can get Big Ben, because it requires commerce, and civs don't usually go for commerce, but you shouldn't be going for Big Ben almost immediately. Like, it should be on a secondary, or not even maybe secondary priority. And you definitely should go for Statue of Liberty if you're building, if you're going for the science victory and with freedom, because Statue of Liberty is OP. And I've known players that got Statue of Liberty then switched to another ideology, because you can build it and then switch ideologies. You just need to be in that ideology to build it, because it gives +1 production to every single specialist that you have, and also you get 1 creep policy, so that's just perfect. And later on you can get any wonder you want, basically. But the early wonders, maybe you can get Oracle, and under extreme circumstances you can get Petra. And I would say the first real wonder you can get is Sistine Chapel. That's all I'm willing to say about wonders. And I just talked about all the wonders that I usually build. So, and lastly, I'll talk about the enhanced user interface. So basically, if enhanced user interface didn't exist, I wouldn't play Civ 5. I think that's fair to say. So what it does is basically everything. Like, all the UI is changed so that you need all the information that you have. So for example, I'm getting +1 culture, but it doesn't really mean anything. Like, +1 culture, okay, what does that mean? But this adds this little 9 here. That means I have 9 turns until I have a new social policy. I have 9 turns until I can get the required fate minimum to build a Pantheon. I have 4 happiness, and I need 108 turns to get a golden age. I have 202 gold, and I have +1 gold every turn. And it's the same with research. +1, +6 research, it doesn't mean anything, but 7 turns until I have my next tech is very useful. And from the right side, I have all the like the resources and luxuries here. Not luxuries, but the resources here. And then the tourism, and then the trade, and the turn, and whatever. So, and at the right side, I see all the city states and also the AI. And when they have something to trade, it will show up here. And when they want something from me, it will also show up here. So it's going to be very beneficial. For example, they have a new luxury connect to their city, and it's available to be traded, and you can just buy it immediately. Or if you have something like horses or iron or whatever, like the strategic resources that you want to sell, because you're not really doing anything, because you're going for the science victory or the diplomatic victory, because what are you going to do with iron, you know? So you want to sell it to make money. And if you can see which civ is willing to buy your resources, you can just sell it off to them. You don't need to try every civ every turn to see which one of them is buying which resource. So enhanced user interface is just perfect. And when you click on them, like you click on culture, it opens up the social policies. If you click on faith, it brings up the religion overview. If you click on trade, it shows all the trade routes, and you can see all the available trade routes and the trade routes with me. So yeah, enhanced user interface is perfect. It's a little tricky to set it up because you don't need to, like, normally what mods are, you just copy everything and it works. With enhanced user interface, it doesn't. You need to select some files and then copy them. It says what to do in the readme, but usually people don't read readmes, so they fuck it up and they all get like external name whatever something in the like the text, and they get confused like why doesn't it work, because they haven't read the readme when they were setting up the enhanced user interface. So I highly suggest that you get the enhanced user interface. It's gonna up your game, and then you can actually get your first win in DEITY. So if you have any questions about this game, you can ask them in the comments. I'll answer all the questions I can. I'm in the Civ 5 Discord. You can find me there. I also have my own Discord. It's down in the comments, in the description. You can click on the link and just join my Discord. Ask me any question you want. I don't just play Civ 5. I play PoE. I play Project Zomboid. I play a lot of games, so you can ask me about them. So thank you for watching, and I hope you get your first win in DT thanks to me. So special thanks to Filthy Robot and PCJ Law, because I learned the game from them. So thank you guys, and I hope you learned something from me from this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.